Hi, I'm John Verperian, and this is Beyond the Game. Tonight, it's a special edition. We're going to be talking about music. I got to hear this singer, Danielle Porcellini, and I'll tell you, she did a rendition of At Last that blew me away. So she has been kind enough to come here on the set of Beyond the Game to talk about her musical and singing career. I'd like to welcome to the show Danielle Porcellini. Danielle, thank you for being a victim here on Beyond the Game.
Thank you for having me.
I'll tell you, your voice really, I went to, you perform here in Westchester, I caught you in White Plains and the Timber. How long have you been singing? And why aren't you on Broadway more often? Huh?
You're so sweet. Well, I started singing when I was literally 6 years old. I kind of just, from a very young age, just knew that I had this voice and I just wanted to just sing everywhere and anywhere I could. And, I went to school for musical theater at the University of Florida. Go Gators.
You're
yeah.
wearing
my orange and blue here.
All right. Yeah.
And, and I went there. I did my Bachelor of Fine Arts in Musical Theater. Mm-hmm. And ever since then, it's been just an adventure. I mean, it just was so... I went to Colorado. I was performing in a bunch of professional theaters over there. I sang on a cruise ship for a year, which was crazy but amazing. And, got to see the world. And it was amazing to be able to just sing and do what you love and get paid for it. It was like very surreal. And then after that, I moved to New York. And, it's funny that you mentioned the whole Broadway thing, mm-hmm. because when I first moved here, I started working at Ellen Stardust Diner, which is that very famous restaurant in Times Square. And every customer would be like, "Hey, are you on Broadway?" And I heard it 100 times a day. And it's funny because everyone thinks that Broadway is the end-all, be-all. Mm-hmm. And like, if you make it on Broadway, then you've made it. And I just don't feel that way. I really just feel blessed that I can do what I love on a daily basis and make a living. And, Broadway never really appealed to me because I wanted to have the normal lifestyle and, have a family and all that and do what I love at the same time. And I just feel like I found my success,
It's interesting that you mentioned University of Florida, and they're known for their they're known for their football, but
yes,
they're known for their musical program. I'm just curious, were there particular professors or were there colleagues, students that had some sort of influence on your singing career?
Oh, yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, my number one influence was my high school drama teacher. She just was my hero, and I just knew that I wanted to be exactly like her, which is why I got into teaching. And so now I teach little ones from ages 6 to 18, and it's great because I think the older ones that are auditioning for colleges and doing all mm-hmm. that and auditioning for, shows out here, it's like, I'm a little bit, I'm not going to give my age away here, but you know what I'm saying? It's like I can connect with them in that way, and I know what's going on in the world right now of musical theater in New York City and the college auditions, so I feel like I can help them with that very easily. So it's been good. There's been so many people throughout this adventure that has been inspiring for me, and I just hope that I can do the same for my kids. Yeah.
Now, when you mention your kids, you perform, and sometimes your students will be observing you.
Yeah.
What is that like?
Oh my goodness.
Does that put more pressure on you when you're on stage and you have your pupils
question.
Out there?
I love the fact that I can do my own solo show here in White Plains has been really, really great. And the fact that I can invite my students to come and give them an opportunity to get up. And sometimes, if they come to watch me, I'm like, hey, come sing a song. Like, this is a great opportunity for them to just kind of get comfortable and feel more, just have the opportunity to perform is kind of rare. You know what I mean? So to have them come up and do that and, to feel like I can inspire them in that way to just make it comfortable for them. Like, get up. We're all here rooting for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, when you perform, there is a tour guide, so to speak. In other words, your website. Can you tell us a little bit what is at your? We're flashing up two websites. Maybe you can tell us a little bit, educate us as to the two websites.
Absolutely. So my first website is my performance website. So it kind of gives like, there's a bunch of videos of past performances and all that kind of stuff, my resume, headshots, all that. And then I have my teaching website, which basically talks about how lessons go and all that. And, you know, I have my own studio here, and I also teach via Skype. So I can teach students in Florida, where I grew up, and anywhere, really. So it's been a really great way to just kind of like spread out, and thank you, technology, for that. So yeah, I mean, if, you know, I am always welcoming new students. Most of my students stay with me for a long time, which is great because you know, you have that real connection with them, and you get to kind of go on the journey with them. And, you know, it's interesting because you're putting these kids in a very vulnerable situation. You're putting them in a one-on-one with somebody where they're giving their voice to you, literally. And, you know, there has to be this comfort and this safe place with them. And you, as the teacher, have to make them feel 100% safe, that they can fail in front of you and it's okay. And, you know, having them for a while makes it so much more just, I get to see them grow and see them flourish and see them, I mean, it's amazing. It's a wonderful feeling.
You know, seeing is believing, and I understand that you brought to the studio some clips of performances. Could you perhaps tell us what treasures did you bring?
Well, so I have this very interesting story. I brought one of the clips from Sicily. I went there. I was singing at the place in White Plains where you actually saw me sing, and this big Italian family of like 35 people came. And the mayor of one of the towns was here visiting, apparently. And I ended my show. And, you know, I do my shows, it's kind of different than what you might normally see, because a lot of times you'll see a singer and she only sings opera, or she only sings jazz, or, you know, something like that. And I kind of like market myself to sing kind of everything. So I'll go from like country to rock to opera to musical theater, and people are always like, what's going on? But I kind of like it. But I ended the show with a opera song, and the mayor was like, we bring it to Sicily to sing in the piazza. And I was like, all right, call me. And they did. I mean, it was very strange. A week later, I got a phone call at 8 in the morning, and they bought me my flight out to Sicily. I was there for 2 weeks. I was laying on the beach, and then I sang for 7,000 people. And it was like, I'm still pinching myself. I still don't actually believe that this happened. But, you know, I was standing there singing, and the whole time I was just thinking like, wow, like this is what happens when you put yourself out there.
Wow.
And you just have to be brave in this life, you know? You have to just like, let your voice be heard, literally.
Wow. And then additionally with the Sicily, there's another clip that you brought with it? Okay.
I just kind of wanted to show that I have a different side, because opera's actually not my thing. That wasn't my initial, you know, training. I love singing it now. It's great. But I wanted to show the side of me that's kind of more me. So there's a Whitney Houston song in there for you.
Okay. All right. Well, let's take a look at both the clips and see what you got, Danielle.
Time to say goodbye. Paesi che non ho mai vissuto con te. Adesso sì vivrò con te. Partirò.
Wow, Danielle Porcellini. That's the note that hooked me. Wow. I'll always love you, Whitney Houston. The way you sang that, it was like it was you. It was part of you. What does that song mean to you?
Oh my goodness, all the things. I sang that song when I was like 9 years old, and my mom will still tell you that it was amazing, but it was horrible, obviously, because who can sing that at 9 years old? But she's very sweet, and yeah, Whitney Houston is kind of the reason I started singing. She was just flawless, you know. She just her voice was like, was perfection, you know. I strive to be just like her, you know.
Well, let me ask you, that performance, and I see it was in a local venue, 12 Grapes. Okay, that's in Westchester County up in Peekskill. Do you have to rehearse before you go on stage? And what sort of vocal exercises do you, or you just show up at the venue and...
That's interesting that you just asked about this one, because that actually took place at my voice recital for my kids. So I had 20 of my kids there, did the recital, and then at the end, their parents are like, Danielle, get up and sing! And I was like, guys, I am not warmed up right now, like, no. But especially singing a song like that, that's just, you know, you can't just wake up in the morning and try to sing like that. You know, you have to warm up your voice. It's, you know, your vocal cords are a muscle. You know, it's like going to the gym. You don't want to just jump into like picking up a 100-pound weight. You're going to hurt yourself. So I ended up doing that. It was just like kind of on a whim. But yeah, normally before every performance, there's a very like specific warm up that I do. And you know, you got to take care of your voice. That's your instrument, you know.
Do you have any superstitions before you go on stage to perform?
Not really. There's the whole break a leg thing, and like, you know, you want to say that instead of good luck because that's what you're supposed to do. But other than that, no, I don't.
Yeah. I saw in the performance that you did in Italy, I saw what appeared to be some holiday ornaments. So that was... I would ask you.
I don't know. They were doing like a whole like it was like this thing. It was like a festival or something. To be honest with you, I don't really speak Italian, so I didn't really know what was going on. I was just kind of like, tell me where to go. It was on the stage, but you know, it was fine.
Well, no, but the point is, I understand you have a Christmas album.
I do.
Okay,
a Christmas album. That's where you were getting at.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, they call this Beyond the Game. Sometimes it's the host segueing
That's
somewhere
funny.
else. Yeah.
No, yes, I do have a Christmas album. I also have a regular album, which is called Gypsy and Me. And I kind of purposely made the album like the way I do my shows. It's a lot of different genres. It's going from, you know, I Will Always Love You to a country song to one of the songs I sang in Sicily is on there. And I actually have a good friend of mine. His name is Gregory Jabara. He actually is one of the stars on the TV show Blue Bloods. He did Broadway for so many years, and it's interesting because I think people know his face now from the TV, but they don't realize like how big of a career he had. But he's a dear friend of mine, and you know, started off as a mentor and became a very good friend. And he actually sings a duet with me on both of my albums. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Now, the Gypsy in Me. What songs are on there? You mentioned the genre, but do you have aside from Whitney Houston, do you have a performer that's out there today, somebody that you would want to grab a ticket or two to go see?
Out there today, Sarah Bareilles. She has my heart. Also, if you're watching this, Sarah, I don't know, you probably aren't, but we're supposed to be friends. I just want you to know that. Supposed to be friends.
So,
She'll find out.
That actually, in her performance in Waitress,
Yes.
That's right down your alley, I think.
Goodness, I would die to see her in that show. I did see the show itself, but not with her in it. She's in it now. But yeah, I was in tears the whole time. It was amazing.
Wow. With regards to the electric mirror, the television, you mentioned Blue Bloods. Is there, of the two, I'm just curious if you had the opportunity, Dancing with the Stars or...
Wait a minute. Did you know that I have like a connection with Dancing with the Stars, or did you just bring that up?
That's totally just
How weird.
gumballing
Look at
information
that.
here.
So weird. Actually, Dancing with the Stars was in, I guess they were just kind of connected somehow with Holland America Line, which was the cruise ship that I worked on. And for 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, they all came on board, like all of them. Mark Ballish, Chelsea Hightower, Joey Fatone from NSYNC was there, which, okay, we need to talk about this because I was that like 12-year-old that would have nightly dreams about being the sixth member of NSYNC. Like I was obsessed with them. And the fact that Joey Fatone was watching my show on the cruise ship, I mean, I had no words. It was the most amazing feeling ever. So yeah, they all came on the ship, and I actually ended up being a runway model, modeling one of the Dancing with the Stars original costumes that Ardrina Patridge from The Hills, I guess she wore it, and I don't think I breathed for like 10 whole minutes. Like I was just terrified. That's not my thing. But yeah, so I mean, I did get to know a lot of those people, and they're all such lovely people. I mean, they're so talented and so humble. It was really, really a great experience.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, if people go to DaniellePorcellini.com, are there any pictures of that, hopefully, or what other?
There might be some pictures of that on there. There's a lot of pictures of productions that I've done in the past. One of the biggest roles I've played was Lucy in Jekyll and Hyde, which was one of my dream roles. I played her out in Rocky Mountain Repertory Theater in Colorado, which is this beautiful town. And there's a bunch of pictures on there of that, and headshots and videos of everything and all the things.
Wow, wow. But the real love that you have is working with young people and
I really do. I really do. I mean, I'm always going to be performing, always. And most of the things that I do, I mean, actually, interestingly, this week I've had 5 gigs, which has been crazy and amazing at the same time. So, you know, this week I'm doing 2 charity events that they hire me to come and do, like I sing like jazz and stuff like that. I do a lot of like private in-home events, you know, for Christmas parties and stuff like that, which is really fun. I'm doing a wedding on Saturday. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of what my thing is, to do like big events like that. But I have to teach. I have to. I have so much to say. I have so much like that I want to share, you know? Like I want to like give it to others, you know? And I love it so much.
So people can learn more about that aspect of Danielle Porcellini at DaniellePorcelliniStudio.com.
Yes, that is correct.
Have you ever gone, and we're coming up to a 1-minute mark, and have you ever gone to a private venue where the acoustics just weren't in sync with your voice, and how did you remedy the situation?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's, as a performer on a stage, you know, there's always things that are going to go wrong. I mean, when I was on the cruise ship, my quick change where I had to run off stage and change into another dress didn't happen. So I was just holding my dress up, unzipped, on stage dancing. I mean, this stuff happens all the time. And it just makes it fun. It makes it a memorable experience. You just get through it and you smile and you be professional about it, and you just... That's how it works.
Now, we're taping this on a special day, I understand. So it's...
It's my birthday!
So what does that make you? A Gemini?
An Aries.
An Aries.
An Aries.
Ah. Do you believe in that horoscope symbols?
I mean, no, but if I read it and it's like applying to my life that day, I'm like, wow, this is amazing. But not really.
No. Well, I'll tell you, Danielle Porcellini, it's been a pleasure talking with you, and I'm so glad that you were able to find a moment on a very hot week for you with so many gigs going on.
No, this was very special. Thank you. I really appreciate you having me.
And I do hope that you, you know, next time you need someone to perhaps sit in the audience, you know, on another international venue, please touch base with a lowly host of a TV show
I'll
here
call
in White
you.
Plains. Okay.
Don't worry.
All right. Well, we got that now on tape. But no, Danielle Porcellini, thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
And this is John Varparian saying thank you for sharing this time with us. Take care. See you soon.